the S18 Expedition G2 have been redesigned recently. This has allowed us to have a plumber bow and a slightly tighter radius in the bow. This has given us a longer waterline length. The keel line has been shortened a little bit, but is still very significant. This stops the boat yawing while we're paddling, keeps it nice and directional. Through this section of the boat, we've kept some flatness to give good primary stability, and we have increased the width of the chine a little bit to give it some good secondary stability and increase the carrying capacity, making the boat a little more forgiving. The increased length has allowed for that efficiency to grow, and then the keel line comes back in here on the stern to allow the water to join back together to have a nice clean running hull. The boat also edges quite nicely to turn, and for most steerage we're going to use the rudder. There is a fairly plumb stern to allow the water to feed back together to feed onto the rudder nice and efficiently. The S18 Expedition G2 is designed primarily for the expedition paddler. This boat is very tolerant of a large range of paddler and therefore well suited for carrying high amounts of equipment as well. Most people that will paddle this boat will either be doing overnight trips or longer day trips. The main features are the rudder for directional control, 4 bulkheads and 4 hatches. A big stern hatch for putting stuff in, commonly described as a day hatch for easy access for stuff you're going to use typically during the day. We have the foredeck hatch for those folks who want to store stuff they want while they're paddling, and then we have the forward hatch or the bow hatch for people that want to balance out the boat. Perimeter lines, very important for this expedition paddler in case you have an outer boat experience, and plenty of deck bungee for storing all that extra stuff you want to grab while you're paddling. This is made in our multi-sport construction, comes standard with the keel line, the keel strip that runs down the keel line. This is a layer of Kevlar covered in the gel coat to make it look pretty. This boat does give a little to allow for any impact that you might have landing, a little rougher than you may have planned, and comfortable handles to make carrying the boat easy. The handles and the recessed deck fittings are all reinforced to make them extra strong. The hatch is waterproof, sealed, with the gasket on the inside, ABS fitting around here, and a leash to make it so you can't lose it or less likely to lose it. It clicks on nicely to let you know that it is sealed. The hatches are recessed, so there is no direct access for the water to the side of the front of the hatch, and then as you can see it can drain out of this spot. We have a recess here for a compass or a GPS or any other device you may decide you want to attach to the boat. And then we have these scallops or cutaways designed to make it easier for those folks that want to paddle very aggressively. Those folks that want to paddle low, doesn't matter for them at all. Perimeter line for the swimming, and then some extra bungee here for those that might want to put a chart here if necessary. Thigh hooks for control of the boat, edging or rolling. We'll come back to the cockpit later and inside there. Paddle float recess. Uphaul line for the rudder. Kayak sport hatch for the day hatch and for the bow hatch. These allow a little extra volume and have a very good seal. Again, they make a nice snap when put on correctly. The lock bar for the emergency tow for those folks that might want to go that way. Most people will use this for locking it to the car or tying it up at night whilst camping. Enough bungee on the back deck or the foredeck if you would like to store your spare paddle there. and the same features for the rear hatch cover as for the bow hatch cover. Coming back here, we finished the perimeter lines all the way to the stern of the boat, and as this is a multi-sport boat, this boat comes with the SmartTrack compact rudder as well, which has this kick-up facility, so if you're landing at a beach or something like that, the rudder just kicks up. The S18 Expedition G2 has a cockpit that is 83 centimeters long and 43 centimeters wide. The seat is adjustable. There are attachments here, 1 and 2. These allow the seat to go forward. It is in its most rear position right now. They also allow you to adjust the adjustable backrest. There is a padded seat. There is a water bottle holder. There is padding for the thighs under the thigh hooks. And we have an adjustable footrest system that allows us to slide the footrest up and down the boat by lifting the lever. Drop it down and that locks it in place. The heels have a nice pad. One thing that is worth mentioning about the footrest is they have a solid point for the foot here, and the toes steer on this movable toe piece. As you can see, this boat has a reinforcement down the keel line or the center line of the boat with a carbon stringer on the inside, and if we flip the boat over, we can see that the keel strip runs the whole length of the keel line to also give it a little more protection and rigidity. This multi-sport hull is a flexible hull. It is designed to take an impact. As you can see, there is a little bit of flex, so the energy of the impact is absorbed in the hull and isn't sent straight into the fabric. The carbon Kevlar fabric is very tear resistant and laminates very well, hence why the two are connected together. There are other layers inside.
So, cut. Yeah. Yeah.
The carbon Kevlar fabric is very tear resistant and very impact resistant and very puncture resistant. The carbon allows for great lamination, and the Kevlar is what gives it its impact and puncture resistancy. There are multiple layers in the boat depending on where you are, and these have been added or subtracted to keep the boat lightweight and efficient, but also very strong. We just had a nice little test paddle of our S18 Expedition G2. Very predictable, easy to paddle, maneuverable, good speed, good efficiency, and nice and stable on the edge. Good characteristics for a sea kayak, fun boat to paddle. It'll bring a smile to your face.